My name is Surdeep, and today's topic is World War II, or the Second World War. Nothing more to say, so let's dive in. The Second World War began on September 1st, 1939 and ended on September 2nd, 1945. It was fought by six main countries and other numerous countries. World War II began when the Third Reich, or Nazi Germany, invaded Poland. 16 days later, the USSR, or the Soviet Union, invaded Poland from the east. When Nazi Germany invaded Poland, France and the UK declared war on Nazi Germany. UK sent their troops to the French border of Nazi Germany. It was an opportunity for the German army and the air force to invade through the Ardennes in Belgium and France, so they did it by a technique called blitzkrieg. The British and the French were surrounded by all sides. Meanwhile, the Italians invaded from the south of France and then joined the German army to push front to the northern French coast. The German and the Italians were pushing the French and the British as planned to Dunkirk. The British and the French were evacuated by the British Navy, while the British were planning an invasion of their country by the Third Reich. The Third Reich were planning an airstrike on London, so that the British will give up. The German Air Force now started to bombard small cities and London with bombs. The British people responded by going underground to stay safe where the train system was. The British government responded by sending their Air Force to fight off the German Air Force. The German Air Force destroyed the city within a few weeks. The German Air Force stopped bombing London and the small cities after a few weeks. The German Army and the Air Force were ordered to invade the USSR from the mid-Soviet occupied Poland. The Soviet Army were surprised and they retreated to Moscow, their capital city. In the north, they retreated to Leningrad, their ex-capital city of the USSR. In the south, there was resistance but very little. The German army reached Stalingrad, a main city of oil in the south. While the German army was invading the south of the USSR, they were also ordered to invade smaller countries like Siberia, Romania, Slovakia, Hungary. Then the Germans were near Moscow. The Soviet army and the civilians put a great fight. After a few days, they got supplies from the British and the Americans. The Americans joined the war in Europe because the British and the Soviets asked them to. The British and the Americans secretly planned an invasion of French-occupied Germany. The operation name was D-Day. On 6 June 1944, D-Day began when the British and the American airborne troops landed in Normandy. After a few hours, the landing troops arrived, where they were stormed on the beach, where scores of people died from the British and the American side. But when the American Air Force came, the Germans retreated to the German border. The Soviets pushed. They were met with little resistance from the German side. Their goal was to reach Berlin, the capital of Germany. The Soviets, the British, Americans, and the French reached Berlin, where the Germans surrendered. And I forgot to tell you that the Italians surrendered to the British when they landed in southern Italy. This wraps it up for the European theatre. If you have any question, please ask us in our email. Hope you learned something new. If you like this kind of content, please leave a like and subscribe. Thank you. See you all next time.